I spent 3 hours yesterday digging through a bucket of old rusty bolts just to find one bracket that didn't actually fit the alternator I was working on. And then I realized we're living in a world where I could have just materialized a new one out of thin air.
Oh, here we go. Is this the part where you tell me you finally stopped yelling at the cloud and actually plugged in your 3D printer?
I didn't just plug it in, I gave it the good stuff. Polymaker just dropped this HT-PLA Pro. In the old days, you'd print something for your car, the sun would hit it for 20 minutes, and your custom part would turn into a Salvador Dali painting. Just a sad, melted puddle of plastic tears.
Right, because PLA is usually about as heat resistant as a chocolate bar in a microwave. So what's different now? Did they mix it with vibranium or something?
Just some clever chemistry. It's got the backbone to stand up to the heat of an engine bay without the headache of printing with something temperamental like a BS. It's like having a dog that behaves like a golden retriever, but guards the house like a Doberman. Easy to work with, but tough as nails when the pressure is on.
I love a good metaphor, but let's talk practical. If I'm printing functional gears, things that actually have to rub against each other, PLA still feels a bit crunchy.
That's where the Prusa PA11 nylon comes in. It's derived from castor oil, which satisfies my inner tree hugger, but it's slick. I'm talking low friction, high tenacity stuff. If you're making a custom enclosure that's going to get kicked around or a gear that needs to spin until the cows come home, this is the sauce.
Okay, but if I'm a pro, say I'm building a dozen custom electrical box spacers for a client, sitting there watching one nozzle wiggle back and forth is like watching paint dry in a humid basement. It's not exactly industrial scale.
Alex, I'm glad you asked because the Lightmake L4 Quad IDEX is basically the stuff of fever dreams. It's got 4 heads, not 1, not 2, 4. It uses linear motors, so it moves like a startled cat. You can knock out 4 identical parts in the time it used to take me to find my safety glasses.
Wait, 4 parts at once? That's not just a hobby anymore. That's a manufacturing line you can fit on a card table.
Exactly. It changes the math for the small shop. You aren't a guy with a printer anymore. You're a factory.
Careful, Tiger. You're starting to sound like a tech mogul. But speaking of moving fast, I saw something in the news about the trades that actually made me optimistic for once.
You mean the Pell Grant shakeup? Man, that's a game changer. For the longest time, the government would give you a pile of money to go study 14th century poetry. But if you wanted to learn how to wire a 3-phase motor, you were on your own.
Precisely. They finally opened up those grants for short-term vocational programs. You can get in, get certified in welding or HVAC, and get out into the workforce without the congratulations. You've graduated into debt party.
It's about time we stopped treating a wrench like a second-class citizen. I read about this 22-year-old master carpenter representing the U.S. in international competitions. The kid owns his own business already. He said something that really stuck in my craw, in a good way. He said, "Never stop being a student, even when you're the boss."
I love that. It's easy to get a little ego when you've got your name on the side of the truck, but the second you think you know every way to cut a dovetail, you're obsolete.
Don't tell him I said this, but he's probably got better joints than I do after 30 years. The grit these younger folks are showing, it's enough to make an old woodshirker like me proud.
Woodshirker. Nice. But let's be real, Tiger. Half the reason those young pros are succeeding is that they aren't afraid of the A word.
AI, I know. I used to think a bot was something you used to catch fish. But if you're trying to run a shop today, you can't spend 4 hours editing a video of you sanding a table. Nobody wants to watch that, and you've got bills to pay.
Exactly. You're finally catching on. You use Claude or ChatGPT to take those mumbled notes you write on the back of a plywood scrap and turn them into a caption that actually makes sense.
And the video stuff. I saw a demo of Descript and CapCut. It does the captions automatically. Most people watch these videos on their phones while they're standing in line at the grocery store with the sound off. If they can't read what you're doing, they're just watching a guy in a dusty shirt move his hands around.
A guy in a dusty shirt. That's your brand, Tiger. But seriously, the real magic is the automation like Creator Flow. Imagine you're underneath a sink, elbows deep in a leak, and someone DMs you asking for a quote. The AI handles the hello and sends them your link while you're still drying off.
It's the solution story method. Don't just show the finished piece, show the disaster, show the client's messy, chaotic closet, the kind where you open the door and a bowling ball falls on your head, and then show how you fix their life. You're not selling a shoe rack, you're selling sanity.
Speaking of shoe racks, that's your weekend tip, isn't it? I thought we were going big, like build a mountain retreat big.
Hey, don't knock the humble shoe rack. It's the ultimate gateway drug to custom cabinetry. You learn how to use adjustable shelving pins, you learn how to maximize vertical space, and you learn how to make doors that don't sag like a tired clothesline.
Okay, fair point. But I saw that note about the full DIY cabin build. That seems like a bit much for a Saturday afternoon for most people.
Well, you aren't going to finish it by Sunday dinner, obviously. But watching those start to finish cabin builds, that's where you see the anatomy of a building. It's like looking at an X-ray. You see the framing, the weatherproofing, the way the roof load actually travels to the ground. Even if you're just building a shed, you learn why things stay standing when the wind starts howling.
So the lesson is, whether it's a tiny plastic bracket or a two-story timber frame, the fundamentals are the same.
Pretty much. You keep your tools sharp and your mind sharper. Whether you're looking at a career change into the high voltage world, trying to grow your shop into a digital powerhouse, or just trying to get your boots off the floor of the mudroom, the path is the same. Just start.
Look at you, getting all philosophical. Did you hit your head on a joist again?
Maybe just once. But the takeaway for today, folks, is simple. The barrier to entry for greatness has never been lower. The tools are smarter, the training is cheaper, and the sawdust smells just as good as it always did.
Stay hungry, stay humble, and for heaven's sake, keep building.
And maybe wear your safety glasses this time. Just a thought.
You're one to talk.